Good afternoon, welcome to CraftWorld Live. I'm really excited to have you here. We are launching again a brand new collection today. So today we're talking about Daisy Mae. Now I know many of you have loved Daisy Mae from the moment she brought out her first collection, okay, and you are going to adore this one. We are talking about a day at the beach, or a day at the seaside, a day at the beach. So, I mean, who doesn't want to be on the beach right now? I know so many of us have missed things like this at the moment. We've got these beautiful, really nostalgic images throughout. And don't forget, of course, everything is hand drawn where Daisy Mae is concerned, because, of course, the beautiful Clare Rowlands, she draws everything. She is so talented. Unfortunately, I can't have Claire with me today, sadly. She's spending some time with her family. Who can blame her? But I know she's going to be catching up later. She can answer any questions later on. Please do ask me some questions. Now, we've got lots and lots to get through today. Lots of announcements, lots of offers. But the big thing is we are giving away over £125 worth of product. Okay, this is Daisy Mae product, brand new, and you can have your chance of winning a selection of those. Okay, so there's a few chances to be able to win. There was one earlier in the week, so we put up a Facebook post around Tuesday, Wednesday every week. Make sure you're commenting on that. Usually there's a question to answer or something like that, so make sure you're in there every week. I will announce that at the end of this hour, so if you did enter, listen out for that. We also have another 3 winners, and you're all going to be able to win a selection of these brand new products too. So simply, wherever you're watching from, now it may be through CraftWorld, it may be through Facebook, through the various platforms there, you can actually comment underneath and we will go through all of the places that this live is going out. Okay, we've got somebody working very hard to keep an eye on all of those videos and make sure all the comments are coming in, and we'll take all your names and randomly pick 3 people to win a selection of the new products. Okay, so then there's another chance to win. I will be talking about that at the end, but this involves going directly over to CraftWorld. So I'd definitely say at the end of this video, if you've not actually explored CraftWorld yet, maybe this is the first time you've heard of it, please do make sure you go and have a look after this video. Okay, so first of all, where are you watching from? Hello and welcome if you're just now joining. I'd love to see you commenting, please do. And also, I'd love to see you tagging your friends and sharing as well, because we want to get the word out that we are doing live demonstrations that everybody can watch and revealing brand new product. So please do comment when you're tagging your friends. Just do that little @ sign and tag all your friends. Share, maybe share on your news feed. And then I'm thinking today, could you comment where you've shared it to? Maybe that would be nice, a bit different, won't it? I usually ask what's the weather like where you are, but I think it's been pretty miserable most of the week for a lot of people. So certainly let me know whereabouts you're sharing and who you're telling about our CraftWorld lives. So do we want to have a look at this brand new product straight away? Because I've got it on my desk. Let's have a little look down here. Actually, look, I've got a few examples just behind me to give you a hint. We're talking seaside, we're talking the beach, we're talking those fun days. Now, because we've got a lot of stamps here, we've got the shiny packaging, so I apologise about the lights. I'll lift each one up individually so that you can see it. But what we've got here is 3 of the large stamp sets. So these are the A5 stamp sets. We've got 5 of the A6 ones. Now, they all have multiple stamps and sentiments in them. And Claire doesn't do just your usual happy birthday sentiments. She does amazing puns, really fun quotes and things in there. We have an 8x8 paper pad, and we have 2 large A5 stencils as well. Stencils, masks, templates, whatever you want to call them. I know everyone calls them differently. Let's have a look first of all at possibly one of my favourites. Okay, my mobile home. Isn't this just so much fun? While I'm looking at these, I'm going to start reading some of your comments. So while I hold these up close. So hello Cheryl from South Wales. Hello. Oh, I think I saw Carrier. Sorry, oh, I'm sorry. There's so many names here. There's so many of you. Someone from Cambridge. I saw that because I live very close to Cambridge. Hello to Lorraine, to Shelley. Clare Rowlands is watching. Hello, Claire. Helene, she won last week actually. So if you're thinking I'll never win anything, Helene won last week, so she'll be able to tell you. Anybody can be in with the chance of winning. Just make sure you're commenting. Hello to Benita. Hello to Michelle Hutchinson. You're saying yes, it is cloudy in York today. Karen Price. Oh, from your hospital bed. Well, get well soon, Karen. I hope you're not in there too long. But it's great that you can watch, isn't it? Look at this. So we're just looking here at the Gone Fishing stamp set. I will say some more hellos to everybody shortly. Now, life at the beach. Fishing you a great day. Now, these are the ones I've actually used, okay? So some of them might be a bit hard to read because I've kind of inked the stamps and then put them back. This one actually says summertime and the living is easy. We're hoping for that for the summer. Now, what I adore about these designs, not only because Claire's hand draw them, and they really do have this hand-drawn element to them. They look beautiful. You can easily adapt these to be, this could be a shop or a hut or a house elsewhere. So if you were to take the bell, the windsock and the, I forgot what this was called the other day. It's usually a cockerel, isn't it? The windy directiony thingy. Please, somebody help me out with what the name of this is. It's a wind something. You can make this into absolutely anything you want. So it could be a shoe shop, it could be a bakery. You could have a row of them as houses. You could have a row of them as beach huts if you want to, all different colours. You could build yourself a town. It could be a little ale house or something, couldn't it? Maybe for the gentlemen. So I think this is such a versatile stamp set. I mean, the same with the mobile home as well. How many of you know somebody who have a caravan or who do their caravanning holidays every year? Maybe not quite so much this year, but they will come back. Let me just see. I've got a little bit of orange fluff under there somewhere for some reason. That's not part of the stamp set. I told you they were used. Yours, if you are a winner or if you buy them from CraftStash, yours will be brand new. So then we've got Fun in the Sun, another huge stamp set here, and this is just so much fun. It's such a giggle. So the lady swimming there in her rubber ring, she's got a crab on her toes and she's got the little fish just pulling at her swimming costume there. I love her swimming hat as well. We've got Have a Splashing Great Day, Just Relax, could be used for absolutely anything. Have a cool summer. Of course, we've got the umbrella there. We've got the lady sitting down looking out to sea. Now, you'll see why that's relevant in a moment when I get you that paper pad. We've got some beautiful views she can be looking at. We've got the sandcastle, which would go perfectly with these. Maybe she's watching the lady swimming, perhaps. We've got Let's Celebrate. I always sound like, what's the name of the... Oh, I'm losing my names today. He's gone. The Scottish actor who... I'll think of it in a moment. Enjoy the feel of sand between your toes. So this is beautiful. Now, yesterday I coloured this in, and you can actually quite easily make it look as if she's meditating or doing yoga or something like that on her mat, simply by drawing a line across the bottom and colouring in her legs and her bottom there all the same colour, so making it look like leggings. Really easy. So again, another versatile set for you. Let's just move on now to the smaller stamp sets. So we have a nice day, because this is the ice cream shack. So we've also got we've got the smaller ones, out for lunch and ice cream, which can be popped there inside the sign. Now again, I adore this, because if you want to take off those ice creams, maybe cut that out with your craft knife. This could be a fish and chip stall. This could sell cockles. This could just be a beach hut if you wanted to be. It could be somebody's beach house. It could be absolutely anything. It could actually be a bar, couldn't it? If you know of a bar on a beach, that would be nice, especially right now. Oh, I do like to be beside the seaside. But now imagine having this one and having your other taller, slimmer one next to each other, and you're starting to build up that row of little shacks that are going to be along the beach. I mean, how many memories does this bring back of your childhood? How many of you went down to the seaside, whether you live by the seaside? I mean, I'm quite close to the coast. Anybody in Suffolk's quite close to the coast. Anyone else near sort of Felixstowe and Bordsey near me? We've got some beautiful beaches around here, and this just reminds me of so many times going down to Felixstowe docks when I was young. It was a Sunday afternoon treat. We'd get some chips, and then afterwards, if I was really good, after a walk along the beach and watching the boats at the docks, we'd go and get an ice cream, and the seagulls are just absolutely wonderful time. Brings back so many happy memories, and this is exactly what Claire said about designing this collection, is bring back those childhood memories for her. So we've got the seagulls now. These are fun, aren't they? So we've got Hello Sailor, but when you're looking at these two seagulls with their hats on there, I mean, you've got to say Hello Sailor in that voice, haven't you? Can we do the squawky voice? I'm going to move away from where the microphone is a little bit, because it might come out a little loud, but when I was designing with these stamps, when I was making cards, all I could think of was, hello, sailor. Did that sound awful? But that's what I kept thinking, that squawky voice. But they are so much fun. We've also got here, sorry I was crabby, just be claws. Now I had to explain this to someone the other day because they were so wrapped up in the claws. I said, well, it's just because, isn't it? It's just because. But if somebody, again, if they live by the coast, if they love the seaside, it doesn't have to be the coast, of course, with a lot of these. If anyone lives near a boating lake, of course, inland, or ponds and things like that, you can very much use a lot of these. We've got the fish skeletons, the crab, and I mean, this looks very much, it hasn't been used in years. So many of these sort of scenes around near where I live on the coast. So, can you see, I love this collection. I absolutely adore it. The lighthouse here, beautiful. Now, when you're thinking about masculine cards, I mean, how difficult, I'm sorry, any gentlemen that are watching, but sometimes you can be a little bit difficult to craft for. We can't put flowers on your cards. Not usually. We can't put butterflies always. So these are going to be absolutely perfect. Something to have in your stash as a staple when you need something that says, you know, for a man, or maybe bon voyage, something like that. So we've got lighting the way to say, I love that. It can go with any occasion. We've got your happy birthday in there in that beautiful handwritten font that Claire does. We've got sailing by to say hi, have a wonderful day. Now I'm going to whiz through these because I want to get demonstrating. I'm keen to get crafting and show you all the techniques. So this one is messing about in boats there. And again, you can see where I've been using them all. Sending you oceans of love. Life is a tease with an ocean breeze. I love that. Again, we've got the option to be able to put our little wordings into our fence sign there, and I love that everything's so rustic, everything's so weather worn, and Claire has perfectly depicted that in all of her hand drawings. And this little collection of boats on the riverbank, or on the actually on the beach there, they look as if they're either waiting to go out or they've been sat there for years, depending on how you colour them, I suppose. And these are perfect for colouring. If you do love colouring in your stamps, I mean, these are an ideal way to start because Claire gives you so much detail in there. You don't have to worry too much about your shading because she gives you a lot of the little dot work for the shading in there. So it all comes through regardless of how good or how inexperienced you are with your colouring. So we've now got Punch and Judy. I mean, who's seen a Punch and Judy show when they were younger? And they were just so much fun, weren't they? And even now, if you were to see one, you know there's a man hiding in there. Sorry, kids, to spoil it. There's a man hiding in there with his hand doing all the puppeting. But you still giggle, you still laugh along. Very often we know what the storyline's even going to be, don't we? And we still laugh along. It's so much fun. So there's no show without Punch. Well done. That's the way to do it. Yes, we have to sing it rather than say it. And of course we've got the crocodile, we've got the sausages, we've got the case with all the puppets sitting in there as well. We've got the little board with a time so we can say when the next show is or back soon. Now I think back soon is great because it would really work for things like maternity leave for people who are going away for a little while, maybe on their travels or wherever it may be, to say, you know, goodbye, but please come back soon. So a fantastic set there, something I've never ever seen before. Now very quickly, because I'm really keen to get on demonstrating, this pad has been used an awful lot. Okay, I've only had it for a week or so and I have used so many of these pages, but I've got a few intact ones left to show you in here. Yours will have a lot more. Oh, see, there's some pages that have been cut. There's the seashell. This is a scene. You can sort of see where the scene was. I've used some of it. Beautiful, beautiful imagery. Oh, look at this. Who doesn't want to be there? And this is where I'm thinking, where has she gone? Our lady sitting on the beach looking out with the parasol. Oh, just absolutely perfect. Now, while I'm flicking through this, I need to let you know, not only do we have the option or the opportunity to be in the hat of winning some of these products, but you can also get yourself a free stencil. And the way to do that is simply by spending over £20 on CraftStash. Now, when you're looking at these designs, I'm sure like me, you wouldn't be able to choose between them very easily. So spending £20 is very, very easily. You're going to get a free stencil, and that's one of these. Now look at these. These are gorgeous. So we've got one called Water and we've got one called Seaside. So If I hold them up, you can see the water is all the different waves and shapes there, and then which is perfect for backgrounds. And then we've got the shells, we've got the birds that are flying. Again, I apologise, these have been used. We've got the sunshine, and we've got, I mean, imagine this with texture paste, white onto blue. To get that surf. That's beautiful, isn't it? And don't forget, with stencils, you can use them with your inks, you can use them with your paint, your texture pastes, you can use them in your embossing machines, you can use them on your jelly plates. There's so many different ways of using them. They are a multi-crafting tool. Okay, so I think we need to get on with a demonstration straight away. So the first thing I'm going to demonstrate, in fact, what I want to do first of all is just stamp a couple of these for you. Just to show you the quality. Let's stamp that one, let's stamp that one, because the others I'll be doing in my demonstrations mostly. I really want to be able to show you the sheer quality of these stamps once they're stamped. They are absolutely beautiful. So if you don't have a stamping platform or something like that with a soft base, you can use a rubber mat from your die cutting machine. I always suggest this to people because it's usually something, if you've been die cutting before, that you'll have laying around the house. So you can see across the bottom as it's scrolling that we've got lots of offers and things on there, so that's just reminding you. But oh, I need a larger block for that. But if you're missing anything here and you're thinking, oh, what did she say about that money off, what did she say about that amazing price, you can go over to our website, so craftstash.co.uk, and you can find on there a section with everything that I'm talking about in this show, not only about these brand new Daisy Mae stamps, but also about our deal of the day. That's a Spellbinders Shapeabilities die set, so make sure you check that out because that's actually got £4 off, taking it down to $15.99, so have a look at that. We've also got on there the Aladdin ink stamp set, so there's 20 of those and they're now down to $12.99. Things like this I'm going to be mentioning through the hour. You absolutely need to be going and having a proper look at those. So within the bargain section on CraftStash, okay, really easy to find, whether you are on your phone or on a desktop. If you go to the top, there's a menu section and that will drop down to bargains. If you're on a desktop, sometimes it's across the top of the screen there. And it's usually on the right hand side. It says bargains, usually in red, I think, actually, or it's in a bright colour. Excuse me, I'm getting so excited. Go into bargains and you will have a section there that says CraftWorld Live. Okay, so, or this week's CraftWorld, something like that. And you'll be able to see everything there. And that includes all the brand new products as well. So just popping this down on my rubber mat, I use VersaFine ink, which is my go-to ink for detail stamping, and Claire's images are so detailed. Let's just peel up. Let's look. Oh, that is just gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely stunning, isn't it? Beautiful. So Terry has just said the inks that I just mentioned are fab and amazing for that price, so she'd recommend if you're on the fence about them. And thank you. And Debbie, yes, Debbie, that is this is like a beach hut. This is actually from the Gone Fishing set, so this is where you would hire your fishing set. But absolutely, if you wanted to take some elements, or you could make it into a beach hut. But there's also a smaller one, a thinner one you could make into a beach hut. If you know someone who loves their beach huts, maybe you do yourself, that would be perfect. And so perfect for colouring, and it doesn't have to be the colouring with alcohol inks. You could use pencils. There's so many different techniques for colouring in. I'm going to do a couple today for you, but if you saw Ho Chanda yesterday when I was on with these, we did lots and lots of colouring techniques. In fact, I've got a different one for you today as well. That's just tonal, so just one colour. I also want to do this one, so this is from the Messing About in Boats. Let's just quickly stamp. I'm going to stamp this in brown because I really think Claire's designs lend themselves to being stamped in not just black, in lighter colours. In fact, my first full demonstration is going to be stamped in a lighter colour. But if you're going for that nostalgic theme, maybe you want to make this look like a sepia photo. And it's so easy to do. Now let's look at this detail. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, Claire has the most amazing quality stamps. Aren't they amazing? That detail in there is beautiful. And when you start thinking about putting those boats in front of that beach hut, in fact, that's something we haven't done very quickly, is to look through my little pile of samples here. So we've got some examples. I know I had some behind me, and I'm just going to bring this one forward because this is exactly what I was just talking about. So that beach hut with those boats in front like that, just on a distressed paper background, stamped. I've actually stamped this in black, but I've gone in with one colour brown. It's a watercolour pencil, just a brown, darkening up some of the edges. So inside the windsock, for example, underneath the canopy of the roof, there would be darker. Used a bit of water to spread that out, and there you have a beautiful card. This is done with a little bit of masking, very easy to do. Here's your motorhome. I actually know somebody who lives in a motorhome on the coast. Oops, I've just lost the corner of that there. Never mind. I know somebody who lives in a motorhome, and they absolutely do. And that's by choice. They own a house, but they rent that out and they live in their motorhome. Particularly at this time of year, they absolutely adore it. And that does look so typically British, doesn't it, actually? It's really cute, really quaint on the beach there. It's got the grass growing around the tyres, so I expect it's been sat there for a little while. They look pretty cosy, don't they? That is a beautiful stamp. We've got that motorhome as well. Thank you to Pauline Hickey for these cards that she sent in. So yes, we do have new design team members, and I will be doing an announcement with all the names there. I know the lovely Helen as well, who's worked with us. Helen Pritchett has worked with us for a while now. She also did some of these samples, but you know what the post is like at the moment. It's not always reliable. We didn't quite get them on time, but they will be going on social media. So if you love Helen's work, by all means, keep an eye on the CraftStash Facebook page. This is one I'm going to be doing as a demonstration. So this is my third demonstration today. You know what I'm like. Everyone knows what I'm like. I'm likely to be overrunning, to be honest. So I hope you can stay with me. If I go beyond the hour, I'll try to be really quick with my demonstrations otherwise. But I want to show you how to do this water technique, okay? So let's have a quick look through these very quickly. There's that lady sitting on the beach, both on MDF. In fact, we have MDF. I haven't shown you the MDF yet. We have that on here as well today. I'll talk about that while I do the demonstration on the MDF, but that's really good fun. Amazing price as well for all different shapes. This is one of the circles, one of the smaller circles of the MDF set that we've got. It's absolutely beautiful. Makes fantastic gifts and plaques and home decor pieces. Look at them. Isn't that so much fun? Fantastic for a gentleman, isn't it? Or maybe a boy who loves his pirates and things. But yeah, that MDF, I'll come back to that, but definitely check that out on CraftStash as well. So gorgeous. That one's by Pauline as well. This is another technique that I'd love to show you another time. I won't get time today, unfortunately, but a really quick and easy way of colouring in those stamps. That's that card again. And we've got Punch and Judy lastly. Isn't that great? I love the colours that have been used here as well. They work perfectly with that backing paper. Right, as promised, on to demonstration. This has taken me far too long to get onto this demonstration. So I've done some stamping for you and shown you the images. Let's move to this motorhome because we really want to see how that stamps and then see what it looks like once it's coloured in. So let's just bring everything in. I have got here a die cut piece. Now this was actually using a previous Daisy Mae nesting set. So the labels are a beautiful shape. Now don't forget, you can always overlap your stamping. You don't always have to have the perfect size piece of paper for your stamps. So I'm going to overlap this ever so slightly. So just bring it down. So the bottom is overlapping there. So we can just see the bird's head. There's a seagull. You'll see it in a moment. There is a seagull sitting on the roof. Let's use my larger block here. So I'm going to stamp this. Rather than using my usual VersaFine, I'm actually going to be stamping this in a distress ink, which isn't what we'd usually do, is it? We'd usually go for something that won't pool. But I want to use a really light colour. So this is the antique linen. And I'm just going to dab all over the stamp. There. And pop this on, making sure that bird's head is there, making sure I'm as central as possible. Now, by doing this, I get a really pale impression, but just enough to do some colouring with. So peel this off. There we go. So we can just see the image there, only just, and it's going off the bottom there. But there's enough there if we want to put then a sentiment. So really quick and easy. I do always have to put my stamps away straight away, or at least, if nothing else, put them back onto the right packet. But we want to do some colouring. Now I have got alcohol pens. It doesn't matter what brand, and in fact I saw that there's some amazing deals on alcohol pens. So we have some amazing deals. We've got some Copics on there, and we've got some chameleon pens in as well. So if you've ever thought about alcohol pens for colouring, I'm going to show you a technique that will cover any brand of alcohol ink pen, okay? So definitely check that out on CraftStash, the deals we have on those. So I'm going to make the main body of the caravan, like mostly a creamy peachy colour. But I want to make it look slightly rounded. So I'm just going to do a quick technique for you using 3 colours that are similar. So I've got the palest, the mid and the darker one, and they're all within the same sort of colour range there. So what I'm going to do is, I'll take this small panel here, and I'm going to go over in the palest colour that I have all over the entire block. Now don't worry about lines and strokes because they will all even themselves out. This will always look much darker until the alcohol within the ink has kind of evaporated and leaves the ink behind, and then you're left with a much paler colour. So it's sort of dampening the paper as you colour, but it lightens up. You can probably already start to see that lightening up. Okay, so it's a very, very pale colour. In fact, I probably need to warm up the my screen a little bit because it's not showing very warm, very pinky colour. So what I'm going to do now is just bring the next darker colour along under the window and the open hatch of the door there, and down this side, just a couple of strokes. And I'm going to just flick that outwards as well. There, because I'm imagining there's a curve to the caravan. So this will be starting to curve round, so it will get darker. They're my 3rd darkest colour, and I'm going to do pretty much the same, but just a little bit smaller, okay? And then just a few little flicks outwards, just like so, to make that darker. Now, I finish this all off just by going over the entire panel again with that pale colour. Now, this, of course, will dampen it, and it will look all dark, and you think, oh, I've ruined it. I've just gone over it all in the same block colour. But as that starts to dry, you can actually see it already happening. As it starts to dry, you get a lovely blend from darker through to pale. Now, like I say, the brand of the alcohol pen is irrelevant, okay? You just want a good quality brand, of which we have many of them on CraftStash, and you'll be able to do this as long as you have enough colours to be able to tone the 3 together. So I've got a panel here where I have coloured in everything. So this took me maybe 30 minutes, I think, to get everything. So I've just got a slightly darker edge to the 2 ends of the caravan there, and the base is a bit darker as well. And then around the edge to make it sit so it looks as if it's not just hovering in the air there. I've actually gone around with a very pale blue and blended that out to nothing, okay, on the white cardstock. So again, they're nesting dies, nesting label dies from Daisy Mae from a previous collection that I've used there to cut out the image and also to cut out a red panel. The red I chose there is actually what matches the flags and the canopy. Okay, and then I've taken, thank you very much, Pauline. I'm just looking at some of your comments. Thank you, Pauline, for saying it's great colouring. I'm not very good at colouring, to be honest, but you know, thank you for your compliments anyway. It's all about practice, isn't it? And I know there's lots and lots of different tutorials online. Now, this is one of those beautiful backing papers that come in that 8x8 set. So picking out, now if I just take the red away, for example, and I'm going to put the blue on and put the caravan on there, that really does blend in, but a little bit too much. I think as beautiful as it looks and the colours are perfect for each other, I think it blends in a little bit. I can hear an ice cream van. This is one of the joys of working at home. I can actually hear an ice cream van, which is almost perfect in the background. But that's just blended in a bit too much. So this is where I bring in that red to both layers, and that just lifts it up and brightens it up a little bit. Can you see? It makes it all pop and stand out ever so slightly. So now to glue these down. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to attach this white panel to the red, just with a couple of strips of foam tape. And please don't tell me off, because I do use my scissors for everything, including cutting foam tapes, which is very naughty, and I do have to clean them or replace them very often. but it's one of these habits I just can't get out of. I just grab a pair of scissors. It is absolutely recommended you keep a pair of scissors just for cutting sticky things. So popping that on there. So what I'm going to do now is quickly tack down these 2 layers, and I'm going to do these flat because I don't want too many layers lifted up, and I'm actually going to add a bit more dimension in a moment. So I've got finger lift tape. I absolutely adore finger lift tape, and I believe that may also be in the bargain section, and I'll show you why I love it, because all you need to do is lift up this edge. Ta-da! None of this sort of picking at it and trying to get it up. It just comes away so easily. You've got a good sort of a 1/4 centimetre on each end, or on each edge, that is lifted up for you. So that is why I love finger lift, and it's well worth looking into. We have some on CraftStash all the time, some great deals on there, but it is so worth getting the finger lift rather than the usual double-sided tape. See, so quick and easy. There we go. So popping this one down here, like that, making sure the border is even all the way around the edge. Now what I'm going to do is I'm gently, very gently, just going to, using my fingers, shape this a little and fold the 2 ends upwards. So I'm going for a slightly bent shape there with the 2 ends curving out the other way. I'm going to come down to a slightly smaller foam tape. All my foam tape I get from CraftStash. I'm just going to put a strip on either side. Okay, so one there and one there on those little ends that we curved back outwards. So now what I'm going to do is just pull that tape out just enough so I can grab hold of it when I'm happy with my positioning. I'm going to curve this a little bit more, and I'm going to find the centre. So pushing this end in and tacking that down and pushing this end in, and oops, where's the end that I stuck? I'm just going to peek under here and find my tape there. So there's one. I think this one may have folded itself back up. It has. Let's lift you back up, push you in, so it's giving it a little bit of shape. Then as we push it in, we can stick it down. There we go. So now what I've got, as you can see, I've got that curve to the card, which just adds a little bit of fun. It also gives that mobile home a little bit of shape, doesn't it? A little bit of that curve that it should have. Now lastly, I've already done this, but this is a sentiment from the stamp set. So home is where we park it, which I love. So matted that onto that red, and I've also then added a little bit of twine, just tied in a knot. Hope you can see that, just tied in a knot on each end and just glued in place. So there, a little bit of foam tape on the back. I've also got foam tape between the layers of the stamp sentiment and the red backing. There we go. I'm just going to pop that over there. There we go. So isn't that just beautiful? I mean, those stamps, I mean, how Claire draws them, I'm absolutely blown away every time I see her designs. But they are so pretty, and you don't have to have those harsh black lines if you don't want to either. So of course there you can hardly see any lines because we use the pale stamp. So I've got some things to talk to you about. I'm going to quickly show you this MDF that I forgot to show you earlier, because I am in love with this. Now I've got it all out together. I've got a couple of examples here of things that I've done with it. So this would be great either to sit on the front of a card. You could also, with these, be using them as plaques. You can tie them together so they could be a wall hanging if you want to, so you can personalize them. They smell amazing. They really do. Which I know smell isn't all that important, but it's that burnt wood smell, isn't it? They are gorgeous. So the shapes that we are getting are some tags. So I think there's 4 or 5 tags. They come in different shapes and sizes. Now I've got another one somewhere hiding another size, but that's one that I showed you earlier, I think. I have got other circles elsewhere. Again, I think I showed you one earlier. This is the largest of the circles, and then they go down smaller. And they all have this sort of distressed look to them, to the edges. We have hearts as well. There's actually 5 hearts. The largest heart I'm going to use in a moment in my demonstration. You see, they're all perfectly smooth. So if you want to stamp onto them, which is what I'm going to be doing, you can do. And then we have the rectangles as well. And just to show you on this back one, this large one, here's one that I've done some stamping, and I've actually coloured in with pencils, just your usual soft pencils. They could be watercolour ones or the ones you don't use with water. I didn't use them with water, these ones, but that again makes a lovely plaque to go in a house, a gift to somebody. You could frame it if you wanted to. It would actually sit quite nicely in a bathroom, wouldn't it, as well, if you're not living on the coast. So that's the MDF, and I am in love with it. So my next demonstration is going to be using this MDF. Okay, so don't forget, we are giving away over £125 worth of this brand new Daisy Mae collection. Okay, so this is a day at the beach, and I mean, we'd love to be at the beach right now, but if you can't be at the beach, this is the perfect way to do it instead. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the largest heart. Now this is the reverse of it, because as you probably saw a sneaky peek, I've already started working on the other side, so it speeds up the demonstration for you. So now I'm going to use something that's brand new, and I think it may have just sold out, but we will be getting more in, and that's the Speckled Egg colour of Distress Paint. You can use absolutely any paint, but I highly recommend these, and I'll show you why in a moment. A little bit goes a really long way, so just using a brush, and I'm going to stroke this all around. I might need to add some more, but what I'm looking for is some brush strokes showing in there, so I don't want perfect coverage anyway. So just brushing that up and down. So if you think to yourself, we're looking for wood grain, okay, so we want to do that up and down technique. I need a little bit more. I'm just using dots at a time to really make it last a lot longer, and that way you don't overuse and you don't end up having to try and get it back into the bottle. There's nothing worse, is there, of your favourite paint or colour, and then you use too much and think, oh, I just have to waste it because I can't put it back in the bottle. So absolutely use a little droplet at a time of this, brushing up and down. I might need a little bit more on this bottom corner there. So just spread that around. Okay, so now that has got some lovely grains in it. Let me show you. Almost went down to a dry brush there, so it's just sort of given it a wash. Now what I love about Distress Paint, it's really clever, is if you put some water in your fingers and flick it onto there, this is a very subtle effect. Can you see that starting to lighten? I absolutely love this effect. So it can, I'll just lift that up for you. I've cleaned my hands. So that water, I'm just going to let it sit for a moment on there, and that is just lifting up the colour slightly. Very much the same as you would with your distress inks. When you flick water on them and it lightens it up, it almost bleaches them, doesn't it? So I've done the same with this. Now I'm going to use my heat tool. So I have the Sizzix heat tool here, and I'm just going to whiz this dry, purely for the demonstration's sake, just to speed it up for you, because we are already only 20 minutes away from 2 o'clock. I'd love to make this an hour, but I think it might overrun a little bit. I hope you can stay with me. So I don't know if you can hear me over the noise, but I do need to make sure this is all very dry. So just hovering over the water. So Lynn Kirk has asked, does this dry quickly? I hope you can hear me. Yes, it does. On MDF, the MDF absorbs the moisture very quickly, and you'll find in no time you'll have a dry piece to work on, particularly if you're stamping. There we go. I think we're almost done. I'm just making sure those water droplets are as dry as possible. So Lynn, I hope you heard my answer there, where I answered your question. If not, do shout and I'll answer again. Now, the next step for me to really get that wood grain look, coming back to my antique linen, this is actually a really popular colour for me today. It's the same one as I did the pale stamping with. And I'm going to drag my ink pad down. Now, you don't have to have the large pads. You can do this with the smaller pads as well. But as you drag down, try and keep it as flat as possible. If you've ever accidentally dragged your ink pad on a piece of paper, you'll notice you get lines. And this is what we're going for, okay? You can use the very edge of your ink pad if you want to create some lines where you need them. But I'm just going completely randomly. Now again, let me just hold that up for you. Can you see those lines in there? Very subtle, but looking like aged wood. Okay, so now let me see. We need to do some stamping now. So I'm going to take a stamping block and I'm going to go for, I think I'm going to use that lighthouse if I can find it. I love the light, absolutely love that lighthouse. I think I'm going to use the boats as well, since I've got the boats on a acrylic block already. So peeling off this, I've used this lighthouse a lot. Can you tell by the colour of it how much I've been using it already? I do love it. Now this is where you want to make sure your wood is dry. Okay, damp wood this won't work with. Bringing in my VersaFine, I'm going back to my brown colour. I'm just going to stamp exactly the same way as I usually would. This MDF is such good quality, it's perfectly smooth. It's not like any other wood I've worked with before, so you will get a perfect impression. I can't think of another word for perfect at the moment. So don't forget, if you are looking at purchasing any of the brand new collection from Clare Rowlands, the Daisy Mae At the Beach, if you're spending over £20, you're going to get a new stencil. So please do that. Look at that. Isn't that just perfect on wood as well? Let's go to the other side and let's do the boats too. So we're going to have a bit of perspective because the boats are larger. They're going to look like they're closer, and the lighthouse is then in the foreground. So I'm going to pop these slightly off and just there. Gorgeous. So starting to build up a scene. Now the way I've added some colour to this, which I have done on the other side, is I've taken my my brown stamp, my brown ink, which again is a distress ink, squidged some on a resistant mat or a glass mat. If you work on a glass mat, that will work equally as well. Elaine, I love the lighthouse as well. Benita, wow. I'm not sure what you're saying wow at, but thank you very much. Debbie, you were wondering how smooth these were. They really are exceptionally smooth, so fantastic for stamping and doing all these other techniques with. So what I've done is I've just wet this ink a little bit, and I'm just going to put it on to areas of the image where there would be shadows. So I've actually put on a little bit too much there. Where's my cloth? I have a cloth here. This is one my daughter made a couple of years ago. It's really a towel and a bit of cotton, but I use it for lifting up colour when I put too much on. It's perfect for that. So we don't want to use too much water. All we're looking at doing is adding a tiny bit of colour to the one side, so the right hand side and the underneath of anything that would need a bit of colour, and this will fade quite a lot. It really will quite dramatically fade as well as it dries, so don't worry that it looks too dark at times. So I've gone ahead and I've done this. This is, as I said earlier, just another way of colouring these stamped images without adding too much detail, without needing to be a professional colourist. Now I know Clare Rowlands, she is an absolutely fantastic, not only artist with her drawings, but also when it comes to colouring, she's amazing. So she, you know, if you can't colour like Clare yet, I'm sure if you keep up with her on CraftWorld, she will be doing colouring videos. She does them actually. She does demonstrations. There's one on there from last month where she's done some beautiful colouring and she's explained to you every step of the way what she's been doing. So it's well worth being on CraftWorld for videos like that. So I've gone ahead and I've done that, lots of colouring. And when it's finished, I've got this. So you can see it really does gradually start to fade. In fact, I need a few more of my brown strokes. I think they faded a little bit to give it that wood grain back a little bit there. And then what I've done is I've taken a piece of craft cardstock, which was a I can't show you the MDF now. It was a similar colour to the MDF, okay? And I've done exactly the same technique. I've put on the distress paint, I've let it dry, I've then stamped over, and I've actually stamped on, if I can show you, let me have a look through all of my stamp sets. It's going to be the last one, isn't it? Of course it is. There we go, the seagulls. It's that wooden stump there with the Lifebuoy on. And that I've trimmed out so that can sit there. So that can just give it a little bit of dimension. I'm going to put that on with some foam tape. You could use a decoupage glue as well as you're working on MDF if you want it to be even more robust. You can do that. Yes, so Sue says she loves watching Claire colour. She is so talented with her colouring. It puts me to shame. It really does. She is amazing. So as you can see there, we've got our scene building up. We've got the life buoy in the back, or in the front. Sorry, I've put some string around it as well. This is just some garden twine, so I've popped that around it too. And I'm going to pop this on there now. While I'm just gluing this on and holding it to dry for a moment, I just need to remind you of a couple of things. I have got a third demonstration for you, and I have got the announcement of those winners as well very shortly. I think I'll have time to do my next demonstration and announce the winners, and we might be finished by 2. So I'm just using my CraftStash glue here, which I've just had sitting the wrong way up. There we go. So this glue dries perfectly clear, so I would always say put quite a bit on and allow your string to sit in it. So we have a few different offers and things going on today. Now we have the competition. There's 3 of you going to win from commenting today. Make sure you're commenting, because we'll shortly be picking a winner for that, and I will announce them at the end of the hour, along with the winner from earlier in the week. So then we've also got on CraftStash, we've got the a chance to get a free stencil. We've seen stencils, they're absolutely beautiful. Your chance to get a free one is simply by spending £20 on any of these brand new Daisy Mae products over on CraftStash as well. So, I mean, that's easy to do. They're such amazing products. So then we've also got our deal of the day. As you can see, it's usually scrolling along the bottom, the deal of the day. But in case you've missed it, it's a Spellbinders die. Now, how often do we manage to get Spellbinders dies on offer? Not very often at all. So that is on there at the moment now, all the way down to $15.99 from $19.99. I'm just going to leave that there to dry while I do the next demonstration. Don't forget, we've got those inks, those eyes inks in stock. We've got the set of 20 in there, the Aladdin ones. That's amazing. That's $12.99. That's all that is. And we had somebody, sorry, I can't remember who it was. Somebody actually recommended those stamps as well and said, yes, they are absolutely amazing. Sorry, those ink pads, they are amazing. $12.99. Check all these out. All these offers that I'm mentioning to you, go into the bargain section. Okay, if you go into the bargain section on CraftStash, up in the top, go to the drop down menu, you'll find bargains, and everything I'm talking about will be there, including all the brand new product. Now, my last demonstration, I'm really excited about this one. Really excited. I know that CraftStash posted a little sneak peek video, and it's the one with the water and the moving around, okay? So very exciting. So let me just find my stamp. I want the lady who's swimming, and she's got a little fishy pulling her back or biting her bum, whichever way you want to look at it. So it's this one. Such good fun. So they peel off beautifully. I think the quality of a stamp, you'll know as soon as you get it. How easily does it peel off from the backing paper? And then how well does it stamp? How much detail do you get from that stamp? So let's just remove my boats from here. They keep their sticky, no matter, you've seen that I've been using these lots and lots already. Do they keep their sticky? Yes, they absolutely do. So they are a fantastic quality stamp. Really deeply etched as well. So I'm going to use here a Vasifine. I'm just going to stamp. You can really see her come to life there when I start putting the black ink on here. If you're enjoying my demonstration, actually, I've got to tell you, I've got a craft along coming soon, and I'll be crafting much slower than this. So it's one in-depth project that I'm going to be doing on Tuesday the 28th of June, and that actually comes, not only do you get access to that live class where I can see you, you can see me, you can ask questions as we're crafting, but you also get a kit bundle to craft along with too. That's a fantastic price, so please do check that out as well. My craft along on CraftWorld and available on CraftStash at the moment, because there are limited seats. Sam Calcott did hers recently and it was such a blast. It was so much fun. So I thought, please me, let me do one. And they're letting me loose with you, so you can craft along with me on Tuesday the 28th if you wish, with the kit, and we'll have a blast. We really will. It'll be fantastic. So you can see that image there. I've just stamped that. That's so clear. It's so much fun, isn't it? And what I'm just going to do is I'm going to extend this water. I've just taken a fine line pen and just doing some little ripples, some little a line extended, a wobbly line. And as you can see, Claire's also done some bubbles, so I'm just taking inspiration from that and do some little bubbles as well on the water, just to make it look as if I've extended that image then all the way along my paper. So I need to quickly be colouring this in as well. So let's take the linen colour that we were using earlier. I'm only going to do a very quick colour in just to show you how beautiful these look when they are coloured in. Actually, my ink's not quite dry there. That'll get me for trying to speed the demonstration along for you. We're announcing winners very shortly, everyone. We'll also be announcing the winner from last week's CraftWorld Live. So if you remember, I was doing Christina Griffith's Card Making Magic, her brand new seasonal easels collection. And I said then, go over to CraftWorld. We'll have a competition over there to be able to win. I believe it's the full collection. So I actually have the name now of the winner for that. So I'll be announcing that in the end as well. So if you entered that, and please do enter these competitions because absolutely anyone can win. It's such good fun. So rather than colour this in, I want to get to the exciting bit. I want to get to the adding the water in. So I don't know if you remember, just recently we had a 3 for 2 offer on cello bags. Now this gave me an idea because I've got loads of these now. Because of course I bought them while they were on offer, and this is just such a great technique to do with them. So all you need is a bluish colour of ink, and it's got to be a water-based ink. It doesn't have to be distress ink. I mean, my personal favourite at the moment is Peacock Feathers, Tim Holtz, or actually it might be the new one, the Speckled Egg. They're very similar though, aren't they? One's a darker shade of the other. So I'm just going to do a swipe in there. That's all I've done, is just a swipe. Not too much. And then I'm going to take some water, and I would say if you're using a mini mister or something like this, I would say 3 pumps, 3 squirts, okay, of water into your cello bag. Now try to open it up so it doesn't all come back out the top for you. Ready? So 1, 2, 3. That's all. And then we're going to flatten that down and start pushing this around, okay, moving it around. You ideally want to move it down away from the opening so it's all at this sealed end. Isn't that colour amazing? Now I've purposely used a darker colour today to be able to show you because I thought actually the pale colour that I've used previously probably wouldn't show very well on my grey mat. So you can use any watercolour you like. This is fantastic as well if you're doing cards for little boys with monsters in. You can do like green slime moving around. So many different things you could do. It's really good fun. So I've moved a lot of that ink away there from the opening, which is here. And I'm now going to just peel off. Oops, I got that the wrong way around. Peel this off and fold that over on itself to seal that in. And then I take just some regular double-sided tape. Yes, there is a brand to it, but this one isn't that brand. Excuse me, I do use my teeth, which is terrible. And I'm going to put over my tape over the ends, the corners where I've just sealed, okay? Hopefully you can just make that out. I've just put the tape over this corner, the seal. That just means anything, if it does start to try to seep out, it's all sealed in. Okay, and then completely sealed. Make sure there's not too much air in there. A little bit doesn't matter. We like air bubbles. We can move them around a bit more. There we go. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take your image, put the bottom of your cello bag, so the bit that's got the most colour in, over the image, and then just fold this over the top. Okay, making sure that your bag is in line with your waterline there. And then what I would do is I would also take either some double-sided tape or just your clear tape again and fold over those edges. So, excuse the noise, sorry if anyone doesn't like the noise of this sort of tape being torn and ripped. So I'm just going to hold the bag on the edge. See, this is where it helps if in the beginning, if your paper is already the same width as your bag roughly. Okay, and we're going to do the same on the other side. So that's as easy as it is. Now, one thing I like to do before I finish constructing my card is just give that a few minutes of moving the ink and the water around just to make sure I don't have any little leaks, because there's nothing worse than finishing your card and then finding out afterwards you've got a tiny little hole somewhere or a rip in a seam when you've already put everything together. So there we go. It's good fun. I love this. I love your reactions as well. So people say it's clever. I mean, yes, it does look clever, but anyone can do this if you've got those cello bags at home. If not, we've got them on CraftStash. So let me very quickly finish this card for you. So I've got one here, and you can see what I mean. I was using a much paler colour, so it's a more subtle effect here, but you can see I've got the image all coloured in. That wouldn't have shown up as well on my grey mat. But I've then put double-sided tape around the corners of my piece, and I've actually cut into a card base and aperture, again using those frames from Daisy Mae from previous collections. Wasn't that long ago, but I think she still has lots of her nesting dies online. I saw some the heart ones were advertised this morning. I think it was in the email that I get in the morning, every morning. I love getting that email because I love to catch up on what's on offer, and there are new deals and offers every day and every week. Speaking of every day and every week, actually, I've got my What's Hot. Who joined me for What's Hot last Tuesday? It was such good fun. I was actually back in the office in the old studio, or the usual studio, which was lovely to be back. But What's Hot, if you've not heard of it before, I come to you live on a Tuesday. The times do vary, but it's always on a Tuesday. And very often I will have the newest and my favourite products for that week. They're usually brand new, or they are back in stocks, things that sold out really quickly when we first got them in, and we managed to get them back in stock. So please join me on a Tuesday for the What's Hot. Every Tuesday. Last week we had 20% off everything I was talking about. 20%. I mean, things just absolutely flew. And most of them are back out of stock again now. So you need to be quick. You need to catch up with me live on the Tuesday to get those deals and offers. Now I'm just going along and taking all the double-sided tape off of my frame. Now I've just used that beach paper that comes with the paper pad there. Stick that around the aperture, and that will just hide anything you need to hide in there. There we go. And then we've got our card. Now, of course, you can decorate this more. Some seashells and things around there would look really good fun. You could pop some designs from the stamps in the background too if you wanted to. Okay, now I've got lots of other things to tell you about, but most importantly, I think we need to start see whether we've got our winners, shall we? There's so many of you. Oh, it's just come through. That's really good timing. So many of you commenting today. Thank you so much. I absolutely love being able to do the demonstrations for you. But hopefully soon we will have a guest in with me, which will be just as much fun. So I know you want to hear winners. So from last week, I was talking to you about last week's CraftWorld winner. So that's that huge bundle. That is the full seasonal easels collection, okay, from Card Making Magic. So the winner of that on CraftWorld, of course, we do take your username because we don't have your real name. So your username, if you're watching at the moment, it's at Bluebell Days. So if you are at Bluebell Days on CraftWorld, congratulations, you've won that entire collection. Please contact someone, or we will contact you. We'll send you a message and get your address and get that out to you as soon as possible. We've then also got from earlier in the week, from that Facebook post, we've got a winner. So it's a selection of the brand new Daisy Mae product, and that is Sheila Metzeler. I don't know if I'm saying that right. You know what I'm like with names. You should know by now I'm terrible with my names. So Sheila is spelled S-H-E-L-A-G-H. So if that's how you spell your name, it's likely to be you. That's not a common spelling, is it? So congratulations to you. You've won. If we don't hear from you, we will contact you anyway. So don't worry if you're not sure. Then we have 3 winners from today from commenting. Okay, you're all going to win a selection of these brand new products that I've been showing. So first of all, we have Lorraine Rawlings. Congratulations. You're watching, I believe, on Facebook. We have another from Facebook, that is Mandy Hobden. Congratulations. And lastly, who I think has come over from CraftWorld, because it's a handle, and that's Joe Talbot. So congratulations to all 3 of you. You'll get a selection of the products. I've seen the list of selections. You're going to absolutely love it. There's a mixture of stamps, stencils, papers in there for you. The last winner, so we are going to have another chance to be able to win the full collection, and that is over on CraftWorld. You may be watching there now, so go and check out the CraftWorld news site section, and that will soon have the competition up for you, and you can enter there to win this, and I will announce that next Friday. One more thing to tell you about, one more bit of news. So we've got a lot going on. We've been looking at CraftWorld and thinking, what else can we give you? So I don't know if you're aware that we do have the super weekly draw. Okay, all the members, you're automatically entered over on CraftWorld into a draw, and you can win each week an amazing prize. Okay, sometimes it's absolutely, I say sometimes, it's always huge. Okay, now we are going to be announcing that this Sunday, and every Sunday you can then re-enter for the following week. Okay, so please keep an eye on CraftWorld on Sunday for not only the winners for last week, but also how to enter for next week. Okay, every week. So it's well worth joining CraftWorld, because there are so many. Do you know, we've been through this week, we have got a way of winning something every single day. Okay, that's amazing. So with that, with all the offers and the exclusive tutorials on videos, I would love to see you over on CraftWorld. Thank you all for joining me and staying a few minutes late today while I get through all of my Daisy Mae demonstrations. I hope you've enjoyed seeing the new collection. If you pop over to CraftStash and you purchase anything, if you're spending over £20 on this new collection, you're going to get that free stencil. So that is well worth going for because it's absolutely beautiful. Don't forget, we've got things like deal of the day and all the extra offers and things as well in the bargain section. Catch up on YouTube if you're only just joining me and you've missed the beginning. We'll always pop this up on YouTube as well. And I hope to see you next week. So next week we have got the fantastic Made to Surprise on Friday. I know you loved her first collection. It sold out within a week. So this is the next collection. I can't wait to show you. I know Sam's really excited as well. So we will see you then. Take care. Happy crafting. I hope you all have a fantastic weekend. Bye-bye.